Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to record a little bit in advance because I can't record anything next week, so a little more content for you, I guess. I'm going to update it. I'm recording this on September 27th. I'm probably going to upload it somewhere in the October range, like early October. So, in this video, I'm going to discuss what the target should be for each party if they want to have a majority in the Senate. And I have the House here, but I'm uploading it in a separate video instead. So basically, I'm going to put 4 or 5 targets for each particular party. So at the moment we have this. When it comes to the positions regarding the vote or the perceived polling at the moment, we have Texas going for Cruz, we have Florida going for Scott, we have Sheehy winning in Montana, and we have Moreno narrowly winning in Ohio. Furthermore, Gallego wins Arizona, so we got 52 to 48 for the Republicans. So the idea here is which are the targets for each party. Let's start with the Democrats. With Manchin retiring, West Virginia is gone. So that is already Republicans at 50. Even if you somehow manage to keep it like this. Even if you have Manchin... wow. My brain is really foggy today. Even if you keep Tester over the line and you get Brown in, you still have a 50-50 Senate. With the presidency most likely going to Donald Trump. At least I give it a 75% chance at the moment. You don't have a majority, and as a result, Republicans still get to pass legislation. However, Republicans do have to deal with John Curtis in Utah, Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, and Susan Collins in Maine. So technically, they should have 53 seats if they want to overcome any shenanigans. Internally, of course. So, she and Moreno probably both winning. So, what should the target be? I am going to market this a little differently. So, dark blue is going to be safe seats or seats that you're going to win. And I'm going to mark it with 1 shade lighter for attack targets and 2 shades lighter for defense targets. Just so you know. So, in the case of Arizona, that is an important one. There will not be a Senate majority for the Democrats if you do not win Nevada and Arizona. Now, good thing, Republicans have remarkably weak candidates in these 2 seats. Sam Brown, I don't know why I put him forth. I would have done Gunter, I would have done Marchant, I would have supported pretty much anyone else. Sam Brown just needs to fuck off to Texas again. In the case of Arizona, I would have put Mark Lamb on instead. Kari Lake is a bad candidate, and very much likely after she's going to lose this particular election, and she's going to lose it by about 6, maybe 7, she's going to move to Texas. And she's going to try again over there. Guarantee it. So, that's for the Southwest. Montana. You can try and defend it, but the problem is with Montana is Tester is basically performing as a Trump Democrat, which is something that you don't really want to do, and by that admission, you're already lost the election, so there's no chance for Tester to hang on, and that's just going to be a waste of money throwing it in there. If you're going to focus on a state rather than, let's say, Montana or Texas, you should focus on Montana instead, because it's state with less people, therefore every vote you flip has a bigger effect down ballot. Which, in case of priority, should then definitely go for Montana first. So, offensive targets for the Democrats. These are defensive, of course. Now, if you want to flip the Senate back, or keep it, this is a really fucked part, because I think the best shot you've got is going for Rick Scott. And I don't think that's going to happen because Florida has a transformation is basically about as red as, I would say, Missouri at this point, in terms of Senate elections in the federal level. There's a significant shift in Florida with the midterm Marco Rubio winning by 20 points without an independent on the ballot. That's just ridiculous margins, and there's no chance that the Democrats gonna get close in the near future. Maybe try again after 2030, something like that. Republicans at that point have plenty of moments to screw up and completely destroy the new coalition. So that would be an offensive target. You can try Texas, but the floor for Republican Party is like 51% of the vote, so you're not going to get any higher than maybe 48 for a Democrat. And there is a Libertarian on the ballot. I can check really quick. Just going to check that really quick. Senate election in Texas. The ballot should be ready. We have Ted Cruz, Colin Allred, and Ted Brown. So a Libertarian is on the ballot. Last time around, I'll just zoom back to 2018. We had the Libertarian on the ballot, Neil Durkman. He got 0.8% of the vote. So what does that mean? Ted Cruz still got about 50, so there isn't really a chance for Democrats to win that seat. Ted Cruz kind of redeemed himself in front of the Texan people because, you know, it was 2018. His defeat in the in the 2016 presidential primary was still very much fresh in the mind of Texans. Kind of felt like he disgraced them, and as a result there was moreover kind of a rebellion against Cruz. Funny thing about the 2018 election is that Ted Cruz only won because of Californians voting for him. You know, Californians that moved to Texas and then they voted for Ted Cruz. But last target for the Democrats in terms of defensive, while you should definitely focus on Pennsylvania, that's going to be the closest in my opinion. You can kind of focus on both Michigan and Wisconsin. If you want your defensive targets, you have 2 offensive targets, and that's about it. For the Republicans, so let's keep it like this. Offensive targets obviously is going to be Montana. Obviously going to be Ohio. In terms of defense, there's not really anything needed. You can argue that you want to defend. That's what it was. So you can kind of see you want to defend Missouri, Texas, and Florida. The rest is pretty much solid. There's not going to be a surprise flip in Nebraska. Osborne is not going to win. It's the same thing last time around where people were thinking that Mike Lee was going to lose in Utah. That's not going to happen. Come on, bro. So, more offensive targets. Well, you can go for Pennsylvania. That would be the most effective because, well, McCormick is running a really good campaign. And with that, you can say that, let's say you tie Casey with Biden and Harris, saying like, hey, he voted 100% in line with them. You can kind of damage his reputation to such an extent. You can also try and drive a rift between his tenure and his father's tenure. Governor Bob Casey Sr., he was a really good governor, in my opinion, and I'm saying that about a Democrat, so you really know how much of a good guy he was. Casey was responsible for the alteration of the Roe precedent. So you had Casey v. Planned Parenthood, that's his father is responsible for that. Was basically one of the last pro-life Democrats, so you can kind of drive a rift between them, and then maybe you can pull something fun off. Next target should be Hovde. He's also running a good campaign, but he's running a little bit behind Johnson, so you can kind of push him in that direction. Maybe get him a little more funding, and you can definitely get him over the line. If there's going to be a 5th target, I would say Michigan. Mike Rogers is not running a terrible campaign. He's not running a great one either. But at least he's somewhere in the position where he has an opportunity to strike. For Republicans, ignore Arizona, ignore Nevada, ain't gonna happen. Larry Hogan in Maryland, you can put a little bit of money in there, but that would mainly be to try and drain as much of the funds from Democrats. In the particular case here, the only thing Democrats need to win Maryland in this particular case is just get Olsa Brooks out there. So get her face out there to get her well known. People know the governor, Larry Hogan. He's really popular. So that would be a rather easy election for him if Olsa Brooks remains an unknown quantity. So that's something we've got to look for. So in the end of the day, I think it's going to be 52. I'm going to put margins in here as well. So that brown is a little tighter. Like this. This is what I think, including margins. Let's do it like this. So 52-48, that's what I think the Senate election is going to be come November. And depending on how campaigning goes and funding and all that kind of stuff, we can kind of see if it's getting a more favorable map for the Republicans or more favorable for the Democrats. But seeing this, Democrats are going to have a really tough time trying to get the map back to them in the midterms. Next time around, 2026, we have Susan Collins on the map, which, if she manages to lose, then you have an additional Democrat in there. You can maybe try and persuade Lisa Murkowski to switch parties. That's a possibility. And I think that's about it for the map next time around. I know that Kentucky's on the map, so Mitch McConnell. Lindsey Graham is up. We have John Ossoff, he's up again. Tom Tillis is up for re-election. John Cornyn is. That's about it. Of individuals that can be considered vulnerable. Maybe Joni Ernst, but that's kind of dependent on who you put up. There is probably going to be a special election in 2026, so you got a special election for the replacement of James Vance, and then he runs for a full term in 2028. So we can kind of look forward to seeing that. Alright, that's it for today. Enjoy your weekend and all that good stuff. See you next time. Cheers.